back to Healthy with Nicole. In today's video, I wanted to share with you some tips about transitioning from a plant-based diet to the carnivore diet. So as you may know, I was formerly a vegan of 15 years, and I moved to more of a plant-based diet, incorporating some fish and eggs, and then eventually made my way to the ketogenic diet, and then finally landed on the carnivore diet, which I've been doing for the last year. And so some things that I learned about that and that I've been sharing in some of my programs is that it's really important that you make that transition slowly. So for me, I actually took a lot of time to transition through those phases. And as a plant-based person, I consumed a lot of plant material. One of the things that I consumed a lot of was spinach and almonds and raw chocolate. So the important thing about eating those on a plant-based diet, which I know many people do, and even on a ketogenic diet, is that they are extremely high sources of oxalates. And so if you've heard of oxalates, what they are is a plant-based compound that is basically, it binds up other nutrients in your body, and it can be stored in the tissues. Your body will store that up, and a lot of times it just stays there. It can crystallize. It is the source of gallstones and kidney stones. People think that they get kidney stones from dairy. It's actually the oxalates that bind to the calcium, creating those stones. So a lot of people will have problems with stones, and this can be directly tied to the oxalates in certain foods, but specifically in all plant foods. So when I was a plant-based person and a vegan, I had spinach smoothies daily. In fact, you could probably scroll back into the channel far enough to see some of my videos and recipes. But what happens is when we abruptly stop, so if you go from a ketogenic diet or even a plant-based heavy diet, and then you abruptly stop and start into the carnivore diet, you may experience oxalate dumping. So what this is your tissues have stored up all of these oxalates. And again, they can damage tissue and cause pain in the skin, in the joints, in the eyes. There's a lot more that we are learning about what oxalates do to the body, but they often lie dormant. And so that sudden abruption of changing over to the carnivore diet can stimulate a fast release of all of these oxalates out of your tissues, and making their way out of your body, which they normally do through urine, through sweat, but it takes time. And so what I recommend is doing it the way I did, which is slow. So if you're going from a plant-based diet and a vegan diet, I highly recommend that you slowly start to reduce the amount of foods that contain a lot of oxalates. So generally speaking, all plant foods are going to contain some amount of oxalates, some more than others. And the biggest ones are going to be spinach, your leafy greens, almonds, which are huge in the ketogenic diet because people make all kinds of treats out of it. Even paleo would be making bread out of almond flour. So if that's you, then I would slowly reduce those things out of your diet. Also, chocolate, cacao, raw cacao, big one for people in the raw food diet or vegan diet, and even to the ketogenic diet. So you want to slowly remove those things from your diet. And I recommend taking several weeks to do this. In fact, 6 to 8 weeks is a great window to slowly reduce all of those oxalates out of your diet so that you make that transition. So maybe it's going to take you a couple months to get to the carnivore diet, but you're much less likely to have some of the physical symptoms and problems that come from oxalate dumping. So be aware of where you're coming from and where you want to go, and no need to rush it. You got plenty of time and plenty of time ahead of you to enjoy the benefits of the carnivore diet. If you like that video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.